Welcome to One Tired Teacher, episode 33, Self-Care for Teachers Over the Summer. I am so excited today to talk to Jackie Waldman, a New York teacher of 30 years. Unbelievable. She has traveled into the world of being a life coach, and she is offering some really great information for teachers on how to take care of themselves. And the best place to start is right now.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Deboree Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Deboree.
Hey, so today I have Jackie Waldman on the show, who is a teacher and also a life coach. And she has decided to dedicate her new life coach skills to teachers because she is a teacher and she's worked with teachers for 30 years. I think that is such an amazing thing to do. And she is outstanding. Let me just say it right now. I have to warn you. I feel like I was having a personal counseling session during this interview. So excuse me if I start getting kind of emotional and a little bit vulnerable, because she's really that good. And she's going to give you some tips and some strategies to use for yourself. It's so important to take care of yourself. And we don't do that enough. We very often are putting the oxygen masks on others before we're putting it on ourselves because we feel guilty and we feel this weight of taking care of others. And yes, that's our nature to take care of others, but we have to take care of ourselves as well, or we're not going to have enough energy to care for the people around us. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I did. Before we start, I just want to remind you that Makerspace Mondays live on Facebook are still occurring. Even though we ended the series on Makerspace, I still am showing up live every Monday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about Makerspace and to give away my latest Makerspace moment in literature. I'm trying to do 8 total this summer and give away 8 total Makerspace moments in literature. I hope that you'll join me live on Facebook on Trina Deboree Teaching and Learning at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you there. Let's get on with the show.
Terrific. Yes. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm tired.
Are you tired? Well, you're on the right in the right place. You're a one tired
love
teacher.
your podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm so excited to have Jackie Waldman here today. She's going to be talking about teachers recharging for over the summer. It's such a vital time for teachers to actually get some of rejuvenation and reset so they can be ready for the next school year. Hi, Jackie. Welcome.
Thanks, Trina.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Oh, I'm really excited to be here. I'm
I'm excited to have you. So Jackie was telling me off the air that she was feeling tired. And I told her that I'm like, you're in the right place because you're here at One Tired Teacher. You're either tired for you've worked so hard and you're passionate, or you're tired because you've just been overworked. It could be one or the other. Yeah. So Jackie's here to talk to us about some tips and strategies. But before she tells us that, I'd like to know a little bit about you, Jackie. So tell the listeners who you are and what you do and a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name's Jackie Waldman. I'm a New York City school teacher. I've been teaching since 1988. Ooh, that's a long time. That's not possible. Anyway, I teach elementary science in an inner city school. And the school is so large, I teach only first and second grade classes, but I have at this point at least 400 or 500 students.
Wow! Oh my goodness! 400 or 500 first kindergarten and first grade, or did you say first and second grade?
First and second grade.
First and second grade. So that many first and second graders. Holy mackerel!
Yeah. So I presently have 22 classes of first and second graders.
Wow. How fun though. Like that's my age. That was
So much
my
fun.
that was totally my age. Like second grade I did for a really long time. I've taught since 1997. And
Uh-huh.
I second grade I started in first grade and I ended up in second grade and so those are my people. So I am like that
Um,
sounds like a great job.
yeah. So it's fun. It's fun. It's tiring. It's crazy. It's all of those things. So I've been doing this job for about 14 years. I had different grades, but I've been mostly doing I've been doing first and second for the last few years. And so I'm the hands-on teacher. And
Mm.
I share a science lab, which with two other teachers, and we take turns a week each, and the other 2 weeks I'm on a cart traveling
Oh.
with science material, which is always exciting.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, it's really really fun and really really tiring.
Yeah.
And our inner city kids, they bring their own special unique challenges to the to
Yeah.
their learning.
Yes.
And so, yes, I work in a wonderful school. Very happy to be there. I have my colleagues are amazing, and I'm proud to say I have friends for 30 years since I walked in the door, and the women I share my lab with um, are amazing as well.
I think that makes such a huge difference. I mean,
It definitely does. I say it's family. I
it
always
is.
talk about my work family.
Yes, I felt that same way with my second grade team for the longest time, and leaving was really difficult because of that. And they honestly got me through like some major life things. I mean, divorce and sickness and all kinds of things. And I don't know what I would have done without them. I really feel like it can make or break your teaching experience. What do you think? Do you
Definitely.
think?
And
Yeah.
when I talk to other teachers, well, I'll come back to that. So I've been a teacher since the 80s. And
Hmm.
then in the last few years, I decided, I want to do something else too. So I trained to be a life coach. So I am a certified life coach with the International Coaching Federation. And, I bounced around with what niche I wanted to work with.
Hmm.
And what was funny is that it always seemed like I was talking to my colleagues, and then I just woke up and said, "What about teachers? Teachers
Yes.
need support." And so that and then everything seemed to flow from there.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. I mean, teachers definitely need support. I mean, I had a counselor, like an actual, like a counselor for a really long time, which I guess I'm saying that out loud, but I needed one. Like I needed, especially during the divorce, and and there were things I talked about my job, about my profession that I needed help with. I had one example is I had a student that was really difficult for me. And in the 16 years that I'd been teaching, I never ever felt like I gave up on a child. And I was feeling like that. Like I felt like I was doing that somehow. And I needed to talk through it. Like I needed some advice, some life
Right,
coaching. And she helped me tremendously. I don't even know that was another person that I can't imagine life without. So
right, right.
so I
So,
think that's great.
so my focus is to help teachers manage stress and to help them be proactive about not only managing stress
Mhm.
and trying to keep the work-life balance, but also helping them reach their personal goals outside of school.
Yeah, that's
Because
great.
we get so wrapped up in all these other things that
Mhm.
suddenly we say, "Hey, how about me?" And
You're right.
and that's kind of where I went, and that's why I trained to be a life coach, because I wanted something else on the side, and that I will continue to grow.
I think that's great, and that's a great idea. When I'm going to link to you because are you available for people to like contact and things like that?
Sure, sure.
Okay, so I will link to Jackie in the show notes, and so you can grab that when you're listening from the show notes because that sounds like an amazing opportunity for teachers. I think that we totally get wrapped up in the job. You can't help it. You go home and you think about it. And you take a lot of it with you, and I know personally that if that impacted my marriage, like it completely did. My focus was on my own children and my kids at school, and I've called them my kids at school, and I think it has a huge impact on things. So I having somebody to talk through those kinds of things, I think would have been incredibly helpful. So I love that. All right. So you are here today to talk specifically about some things that we can do for ourselves over the summer, because it's so important to rejuvenate. And people are always like, oh, you only work, or 10 months a year. And yeah. And you're like, listen, people, like you spend so much of the summer working, but you've got to have a chance to have some downtime.
My response to that is usually, come on, you try it on for a size.
Yeah.
And I'll give you about 15 minutes.
Yes.
So this is a personal, this is different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's different for everyone. So my strategy that I'm working with my clients with in regard to recharging for the summer, has them at the beginning really thinking about what components they lose within themselves over the course of the year, and where they end up depleted.
Ooh, that's good.
So for some people, it's, I don't have time to read. Read for fun. This is just an example.
Yes.
For some, it's exercise. For some, it's binge watch a little TV. For some, it's that dream goal. And that's my little passion, is that little dream goal, that dream inside of you that says, okay, I'm a teacher, or I'm also a mom. I'm also, there's this other thing that's with you that you want to take, you want to bring to the surface and make a part of you and grow.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, because you're right. It is components of yourself that you lose or you let go of over. That actually makes me feel like crying. Like that, they're components of it. Seriously does. Like you lose parts of yourself because it becomes so much that you're focused on. I mean, I can remember like even not silly. It was, I guess it sounds like it to me a little bit, but like even cleaning my closets and like being organized in my house. I felt like it had to wait for spring break, or it had to wait for the summer. It had to wait for Christmas vacation because there was never any time. But then I would walk around feeling disheveled and unorganized, and that didn't help the situation either. And even with my own kids, like even sometimes feeling like I read every day to my students, and when I got home, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't feel like reading them a story. That's terrible. That's when I think back about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so terrible. I pushed through, I powered through, but you shouldn't feel like you have to. Yeah.
And also it's, and teachers tend to be a little bit this way. Well, not all, I don't want to overgeneralize, but looking for perfection where life isn't perfect. Yeah. And to say, okay, that closet, all right, what if I just hang up one shirt? And breaking it down to like the smallest pieces. And then from there, making into something larger. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to switch gears for a second. Mm-hmm. Many of us, in a lot of other careers, people bounce around and do different things, but I've been a teacher for 30 years. Mm-hmm. Who I was at 22 is definitely not who I am today. And so as you grow and change, all these other things come out within you that, you shouldn't have to feel like I have to wait for that right time, because we know that not everybody gets the gift of the right time.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
That's
actually, yeah. No, that's one reason why I left the classroom. I worried that, like, health-wise and stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to make it to retirement. So if I don't live like out my life, my truth, my passion now, like there might not be a later. So that makes me feel like kind of emotional. And it's interesting that you say that we figure out things about ourselves, like that we weren't the same when we started. Because I started at like 26, I think. I mean, I was a little bit later starting, but it was very like, now I didn't realize how much I love to travel, and I have been shiplapping, I've been working with saws. I have like 5 saws, and I had no idea that I'm like, oh my goodness, I actually like woodworking. I built my desk. Like I had no idea about these things. I knew I liked to like decorate. That was always something that I liked doing. And I always made materials for people on my team or myself. So that became like a natural thing to do. but I didn't know about all these other parts. And so listening to you say that, I'm like, I kind of blame that actually on my ex-husband, but now that I'm listening to this, I'm like, no, I think it's teaching too. I like just didn't like allow those parts of myself to come up.
It when you're so busy and you're trying to figure out how to basically spend your day, you blink your eyes and your time has been taken. You say, you wake up in the morning and you say, okay, if you don't have a plan and you're not proactive about putting in that thing, whatever that thing is for you, and then it can easily slip through your fingers. So you have to make that decision. It's tough. It's a tough decision.
It is a tough decision.
And I always look at it as, and we don't look backwards, always look forward, because in any given moment, the decisions we make are based on the information we have at the time. And as we grow and change, how we see the world and the circumstances change.
Yes, you're right. Oh, that's such good advice. I feel like I'm having a counseling session. I'm sorry. Like I feel like emotional about it because I really do. Like, I'm like, wow, it's so true though. And I think I see it with so many of my teacher friends.
Right.
I'm like, they're not taking that time for themselves, and it's important. So what can we do? What can we do differently, or what can we do just a little bit to figure that out?
I think people need to kind of do like a mini retreat. And obviously a mini retreat is not something where realistically, not where we go away for a few days. It's nice if it could happen. But if you can make a list of what's working and what's not working, and make that decision, you say, this summer, I'm going to get it together. I'm going to make a plan for how it's easy to keep it going for the 2 months we're off. But when we return to school, that's the tricky part. So you pick a couple of things that are the most important things to you, whether it would be increasing your exercise or improving your sleep or cleaning up your diet or going for that little dream you have, taking that huge dream and breaking it into the tiniest pieces so you can keep moving forward to reach that. And like I said, it's different for everyone. So, reducing stress, what's your strategy for reducing stress? And I was listening to your podcast on how to handle the end of the year. And the first one was chocolate.
Yes.
So, if you can't take the long walk, take the walk around the block, walk for 10 minutes. Go outside, think about, and like set up the strategies that you're going to use in September or August, depending on where you live. When you go back to school, make that decision. Okay, it's so busy, but I can definitely go outside for 2 minutes and breathe.
Yes.
And breathe and think about something that's worked for you. And one thing that I do also, because, New York City, it's a stressful place. My students are beautiful. And every day I try to remember something cute or sweet that they say. And I kind of keep a mental
log.
list. I have my list of things that they say. So that, just to remember the why.
Yes. I love that. I love all of that. I think those are fantastic ideas. And especially thinking of, you're right. Like, it is like being a perfectionist. And, even though it does feel overgeneralizing, I feel like it's so true for so many teachers. I remember the lady telling me, this is going to sound silly, but when I had my son with the whole breastfeeding thing, and she's like, teachers are the hardest because they are such perfectionists. And I'm like, really? And I was like, at the time I felt offended. I'm like, what do you mean? But I'm like, no, it's true. I think we really can be. And even when you just said that, take things and break it down. Like, you can take a walk for 5 minutes. I would have thought in my head, well, that's not good enough. I can't do it for 5 minutes. It has to be at least 30 minutes.
Breathe. I have actually alarms set in my phone because I teach a different class every period. So at certain times during the day, I have alarms that just say breathe.
Yeah.
And go to the bathroom, have some water. And so those are some of the things I do to think about what you truly want and what's missing and get clear about that. and then figure out how you're going to work that into your life.
Yeah. I just finished reading a couple months ago. It was about habits, Atomic Habits. Have
Okay.
you
Oh,
heard of
yes. I
that?
know this book. Yes.
Yes. And it was talking about just that. It was like making a small thing, forming these habits, and then they become like natural parts of your life. And it
Yeah.
was just starting with really simple things at first. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so brilliant. Like, I don't know why. You've just given us permission, though. I think sometimes we need someone to give us permission to not have to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't have to do it
So
perfectly.
I would say my thing for myself, I tried to be a perfectionist. It didn't work out too well. And
Hmm.
every time I would just constantly feel bad about all the things I couldn't do. And I kind of just got sick of it.
Yeah.
I felt so sick of trying to set up these expectations for myself that I couldn't meet.
Hmm.
And then I would be afraid to try anything.
Hmm.
And when I finally made that decision that failure is my friend,
Yeah.
that everything I try, but like I said, I'm so happy for your editing. Everything that I try, if I fail, I pick myself up. And so I recently set up a Facebook page for New York City school teachers.
Hmm.
And I went live for the first couple of times. And the first time, my husband was recording me just on a video. I had to do it. I did it 100 times. And then afterwards, I said, I'm going to go live on Facebook. I said, after this, I'm not going to record again. I'm going to just do it live.
Yes, you're
And
just
then
do
once
it.
I did it live, and I figured I'm going to trip all over the place. But if people
Mhm.
are looking for perfection, they need to go somewhere else. If
Absolutely.
they want my authentic self, they
Mhm.
can hang around.
Yes. That's
And
what
so
people do want. People do want
by,
your authentic self.
yeah, exactly. So just by allowing myself to be me,
Mhm.
it takes the pressure off. And that allowed me to also take chances like this, doing my first podcast.
Yes. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I think people are more forgiving than we think that they are. We're harder on ourselves than other people. And that's how I felt even starting the podcast. I'm like, I'm going to trip over my words. I'm not going to edit it to death. Like I'm going to make a mistake. And that's okay because that's who we are. But that makes us relatable. Then you're relatable to somebody.
Absolutely. So anything that I do is any work that I'm doing as a life coach and a teacher and a life coach of teachers is not
Mhm.
around curriculum. It's around empowering the teachers
Mhm.
to be their own best selves. And that
Yes.
doesn't only mean in the classroom. That
Mhm.
means for their own happiness and their own health, and for them help them be the best people they could be in addition to the classroom, like
Yes.
as a whole person. That's what I'm interested in.
Well, and it trickles into the classroom anyway, because
Of
it's very
course.
hard not to take all of your baggage with you into the room, even though you say you're not going to. You're going to leave it at the door. I think it's really hard to do that, to actually do that. And so if we're working on our whole selves, then we're putting the oxygen mask on ourselves first so that we can take care of the people around us. I think it's a necessity. It has
Absolutely.
to be.
Absolutely.
Oh, oh, wow. That was really unbelievable, actually.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like the mini retreat. Like what do you do for like a mini retreat? What if
So
you can yeah.
mini retreat is really about taking your journal. If you don't have one, it's time to get one. And
Mhm.
really asking yourself those questions those questions. What's working for me? Make sure that you focus also on what's working, because
Mhm.
people tend to go to the negative, and there's a lot of research about how we all have, how we have more negative thoughts than positive thoughts.
Yes.
And so we have to make sure you focus on the positive and what's working and all your successes. And sometimes it's hard to like think back to that, but to keep a running success list of things that
Mhm.
worked, whether it was your interaction with a child or a colleague, or you stood up and did a workshop for the first time and it was successful, or you stood up and did a workshop for the first time and you didn't throw up. Um, and so keep that running list of successes to remind you. But in addition to that, on the other side, think deeply about what areas, in addition to your teaching,
Mhm.
for self-care, for your own personal self, what needs to be what you need to upgrade.
Okay. So you're taking a log and you're reflecting on the things that have worked for you, the positives of your life, things that are going well or that you've overcome or something like that. And then you are also focusing on the things that you need to add a little bit back in more into, like exercise or
That's right.
something in that way. Okay. Things that you've let go of.
Sleep, um,
Sleep. Mm-hmm.
walking in nature, whatever it is for you. And again, working towards your personal goals.
Yes.
In addition to that. So let's go back to that positive list for a second.
Okay.
Often when people start that, they can't think of one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you have to keep that running.
Yes.
Just like you keep a list of gratitude list running. And that would be another thing you can do by really kind of having this time to really just reflect without judgment. Because we all have our rainbow list, our list of things that are our successes. We also all have our own struggles. They look different for you and me and anyone else. But just trying to take that and just say, just like everyone else, I have all of these. I'm going to pick a few things, or I'm going to pick just one thing. That's going to be the thing I concentrate on. And I'm always for health and self-care. Ask me the last time I was at the gym. So I'm all for health and self-care. I'm going to go take a walk right after we're done, and then I'll feel better. But anything, because too many people focus too much on the wrong stuff, and then remember we think we get only one trip around in this life, and so we want to really try to make the most out of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. That's so true and so good. And you're right. And I think that's very valuable. And especially I think it's true for all people, like all human beings need to hear this. But I also think it's really important for teachers. I'm so glad you picked teachers to focus on, because things like evaluations where they come in to see what you're doing wrong instead of what are you doing right. I think that just wears on you. Those kinds of things wear on us. And when society is like, oh, the education, and they blame us and we get blamed for everything, it just becomes too much sometimes. And so I think that these things that we can do for ourselves and see, you almost forget. Like there's been so many times that I've been sitting with a person for one of the podcasts and I'm like, I totally forgot I did that. I totally forgot that I used to use, our integrated technology and had a one-to-one grant that I wrote and got for one-to-one iPads, like all these things that I forgot about. I'm like, oh yeah, I did this project-based learning thing with Apple. Like, I mean, like it was things
Wow, that's great.
yeah, it was really cool. But I'm like, I totally forgot about that.
You're
Like
so wrapped up in the right now.
Yes. Yes.
So I want to add another thing, and you mentioned, which is something that teachers feel huge sources of stress, is that how we are evaluated. And I think that sometimes I say, and maybe people wouldn't necessarily agree with me on this or whatever, but I know that I have my own personal goals as a teacher. They can evaluate me on X, Y, A, B, C, D, E. But here's the list of who most important. Your list is important, but my list is just as important. And you're not going to score me on that, but I'm going to score myself on am I there for my students? Am I positive? Do I bring them up? Do I try to teach students strategies to help themselves? Do I, so all of these things are my own personal agenda.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, especially at the beginning, you can't see that.
No, you're
right. And it's taken me some time to see it, but maybe some new teachers can remember that. And even if they say, I have one goal for myself as a teacher and stick with that, because you have to yourself to live with as well. And you know what you want to bring, and don't let, the negativity take you away from every day, every gift that you give to a student.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. It's so true. You're right. And I think I didn't even think about how even harder it would be to be brand new to come into a system and have it be like that from the beginning, because I didn't come into a system that was like that from the beginning. And I
certainly not in the 80s.
no, yes, and mine was in the later 90s, and it didn't feel that way. I don't think I would have ever. I just couldn't. I think it's so wrong that that's part of, that was part of my reason for having to walk away from it, because I couldn't deal with that part of it. I couldn't deal with what I felt like we were doing to kids, as making them machines and little testers, and all they can do is take a test. I just couldn't do that part. It really bothered me. But I think having those personal goals, like that's what I used to feel like. I'm like, yes, I knew I had to get everyone to this whatever reading level, but I always was like, well, my goal is that I like introduce them to the love of reading. Like I want them to love reading. I want them to leave and be like, I love this whatever book, or I love when we did this. And it happened. Like that was my goal every year. And it happened. Like I'm like, this is what I care about. Do I care that everyone is reading over here, or do I care that they love it? Because if they love it, they'll keep working towards it. They'll keep doing it.
Right,
and
remember, we're planting the seeds. What we're instilling in them today, you might not notice it right away. And then down the road, you might see your second grader who was struggling and whatever, and suddenly they're in fourth or fifth grade, or they're coming back to visit you later on, and they say, wow, I'm doing I'm learning this, I'm studying this, down even further down the road, coming back as adults. And so it's hard to
we don't get to see that. You're right.
Snapshot of your speaking about, whatever, it's the system. So that snapshot to me does not show the whole picture. Just like a standardized test for a child does not give you a whole picture of who the child is.
Yes.
Who, what we give to them, they hold on to.
Yeah, they take.
And then again, sprouts later. We do the roots. We take care of the roots. We plant the seeds.
Yeah, and sometimes you're blessed enough to see the result later. You're lucky enough. It has actually happened to me a few times, because I've had students that were my friends, children, and I've gotten to see. I have a boy that I had in second grade. His family was so Florida State, and I was so Florida. I'm such a Gator, and I was like all about the Gators, and they were like, oh great, now we have this Gator teacher. And so it was, but then that child, like he held on to from when he was in second grade. His mom wrote me when he graduated from high school a couple of years ago, and she's like, he got accepted to UF, Trina, and she's like, University of Florida, and he wants to go there because you loved it, and he loved it since second grade, and that's where he is, and it gives me the chills. And I was like, are you serious? And like now they actually have, and I was just at her house recently, and his room, because he's at college, but when he comes home, his bathroom has like the orange and blue stripe down the wall, and they have the Gator towels and the Gator on the on the thing, and I'm like, I really love it. So and that's something, something that's not whatever, but it was, it's just those little kinds of things. They remember you for that long. Like they think about, I don't know.
That's right. And if you hang around as long as I've had the children of some of my former students.
Oh, yes.
So that's a funny feeling. At first it was, oh no, I'm that old. Yeah. But then
you don't look like it.
I get very emotional.
Yes.
When I think about how they grow up, whenever they come back and visit as junior high school students, and in this case, parents, I get very, very emotional.
Yes.
I get so, first of all, I get parent-teacher conference night. Sometimes some of the other kids sneak in the school to come visit.
I love that. Yes.
But, yeah. And then they'll, and very exciting. So
that's very exciting. I think that's so cool. I love that. And you don't look like you could be the teacher of someone that now has children. Like you don't look like you started in the 80s, not at all. So what you're doing for your self-care, well, your self-care regimen is working, because you don't have the look of somebody that's like exhausted and beaten down.
I am, but I'm so excited to be here and to talk about the thing I feel most passionate about. And that, of course, brings your energy right back.
It does. It absolutely does. I think I already said I was linking to you. I am for sure anyway, but I think people need to check you out. You're like a breath of fresh air. I think you have a lot to offer. So I'm very excited that you decided to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you. I'm so glad that you stuck around to hear this. I think this episode was just really inspiring and motivational. Jackie had so much to offer, and I really, truly appreciate her being a guest on the show. If you want to contact her, remember she said you can contact her at waldmancoaching@gmail.com, and I will put that in the show notes. If you're feeling it, I'd love to hear from you. So rate, review, subscribe to the show so you don't miss a thing. This one tired teacher is feeling pretty good. Until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight.